Look, man, another terrible performance. Another terrible performance. Defensively, absolutely trash. The whole team, actually, for the most part, was absolutely trash. And you know what the issue with that is? It's been happening week in, week out. Now, I could have accepted if this was a one-off game. I would be like, you know what, fair enough, coolio, it happens, man. We'll forget it. C'est la vie, we'll move on. Arrivederci, okay, cool. Move on. And that's that. But it's been happening so often. It's been happening so much. It's been happening week in, week out, every single day, every single game. I mean, at this point, it's not just week in, week out because we're having 2 games a week. So at this point, it's twice a week in, and then twice a week out. And that's just happening non-stop. Non-stop. And quite frankly, it's getting worrying. Our defense is terrible. Terrible. Offensively, Kingsley Coman. Kingsley Coman. You know how I rated him as the second best player for the month of November? You know how, in my November player rating, I said second best player for this month? Scratch that. First best player. Numero uno, Müller. Numero dos. And then numero tres, Musiala. Those 3 players were, for me, in my opinion, the only 3 bright sparks. Number 1, Coman. 3 assists, bravissimo. Absolutely fantastic. When all our other wingers are not really performing, you have Gnabry, who really isn't performing that well. You have Sané, who, when he comes on, looks great. Against tired legs, he looks great. But when he starts, he just doesn't look that sharp. He doesn't look that hungry. And of course, it's not an easy game to start against Leipzig. Of course, it's not quite an easy game to start against when you have not really even started many games. But that's kind of what you expect from your marquee signing of the season. You expect them to come in and be like, yo! And put in a great performance. It wasn't really the case today. Coman, on the other hand, 3 assists, bravissimo. I could go through the whole team and talk about who was bad, but again, it's either talk about who was good, and that's only Müller, Coman, and Musiala. The rest, bye. Goretzka, yeah, okay. He wasn't the worst player. Let's just say that. He wasn't the worst player. There were certainly weaker players. Obviously, Javi went off early on with his injury. Hopefully, it's nothing too serious there. But the rest of the team, honestly, a massive disappointment. Alaba as a left back, not really that great. Süle, Boateng, atrocious. Neuer, atrocious. Pavard, okay. I mean, he had a great volley. So he needs to teach every single player how to do a volley. I'll be completely honest. He needs to teach them all. This is how you take a volley. This is how you take a half volley. But absolutely fantastic volley. Nearly went in. Great save by Gulashi. But he wasn't that bad. Pavard wasn't that bad. He was just bad. Not that bad. Not like everyone else. I feel like Alaba and Pavard, honestly, were not that bad. They were just bad. Not that bad. If I had to give them a rating, I'd probably give them a 4, and everyone else gets a 3. Boateng and Süle, they both get a 1. Boateng pissed me off, actually. He actually pissed me off in this game. I have to say, he actually pissed me off. That's not just the defending was really bad, but they pissed me off. That's why I give them that low rate. Usually I'm a lot more generous with my ratings, but nah, they pissed me off. Boateng, how do you go from being able to spray passes with your left, with your right, anywhere on the field, to the point where Xabi Alonso is wow, this kid is a better passer than me, to now being man, I don't know how to pass to save my life. And the annoying thing is that he kept trying it. And I don't mind when you fail, so on and so forth, but realize when it's not your day, don't try too much. Keep it simple. But he kept going for it, the long passes. I feel honestly, I don't know how many passes he's actually made, how many attempts he actually made, but it felt like he completed about 5 of 50 passes. That's what it felt like. It felt like 45 passes that he tried went nowhere. The 5 passes that 5 of those 45 that he tried, 5 of those 50 passes that he tried, those actually got to their man. I'm like, bro, how? You and Süle are both having a terrible performance in defense as a centre backs. But your passing is so bad as well today. And I'm like, bro, for Süle was just worse defensively, which is why he gets a 1. Boateng was a bit better than Süle defensively, but because of his distribution, I'm knocking that score down to a 1. And they're lucky. Both of them are lucky to get that 1 out of 10. I really should be giving them a 0, honestly. They should be handing in their pay. That's really what it was. But Neuer, terrible too. Terrible too. I knew he would have a bad day. The second, very on in the first half, even before they scored, like he was kind of like flipping around. I was like, okay, shit, this game is not going good. This game is not going well, right? It's just gonna be. It's one of those games. It's one of those games. One of those very rare games where Neuer just doesn't know how to play football, and that's exactly what happened today. He didn't know how to play football. It's like, oh, it's the same with Boateng. It's like, oh, all the everything that we're known for, distribution, being great defensively, being solid, great goalkeeping in the case of Neuer, all of that thrown out the window. It's like, oh, interesting, you like that, haha. No, today, no. And that's the most frustrating thing. Goretzka, sort of in a way, like you can't really blame him, because obviously when the game started he was more advanced, he was the more aggressive, he was a more attacking player, and then when Javi went injured, he kind of switched roles. He was the more defensive player, with Musiala going forward a lot more. So from that perspective you can't really say, well, you're not really playing where you're strongest at, but I still expect a little bit more from him. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He was like the worst. He was the best of the bad players. That's my thought on Goretzka. Like, if I had to give him a rating, I'd probably give him a 4. That's a solid shift. It's not all right, let's be a little bit more generous. A 5. I think I'd give him a 5. Like, anything above like 7, that's when you'll know you're like a good performance. But he gets for me a 5, which is like, you're close to the other players. You're not a 1. You're not a 0. Boateng, Sula gets a 1. Neuer gets a 2. And Alaba, Pablo, they probably both get a 3 each. And then you've got Goretzka at a 5. You've got, in my opinion, Musiala, who obviously then came in. Yeah, I'm not going to rate Javi because he really didn't play that much. He played like 20 minutes or so, and it was like, my groin, and I'm hoping everything's going to be good for him. But like, Musiala, for me, he gets a 8. An 8. He gets an 8. Moving forward, on Coman, a 9.5. And the reason why I'm giving him 9.5, yeah, he got 3 assists, granted. Good stuff. But the reason why I'm giving him a 9.5 is very simple. Besides the 3 assists, and it's going to sound crazy, I know, if you get 3 assists, how am I going to complain about that? But besides the 3 assists, I didn't feel he did enough. And that's my criticism of him. Now, besides the 3, like, one of the strengths of his is usually that he like takes on players. The thing that we always criticize him for is like, he always takes on players. I said that multiple times, and I'm not gonna like shy away from saying that, considering that he got 3 assists, and he's essentially the reason why we didn't lose the game. I'm not gonna be like one of those players like yeah, he's fantastic, he's amazing, so on and so forth. And I never criticized him before, because I did criticize him before in the past, and the criticism was always very simple. It was always that he does everything right. Everything right from beginning until the end. He gets past 4 or 5 players, dribbles past them, just gets past them, and then when it comes to the final action, either putting in a cross or putting in a shot, it's like, off to the moon you go, ball. And that's what he's changed this season. This time, this season, I feel like his strength is still taking on players, but like this season he's become a lot more productive. And what I like a lot as well, which is why he's getting such a high rating at 9.5. What I like so much as well is that not just only offensively he was great today, defensively too. He constantly tracked back, and I'm gonna get to another player, of course, that I felt like didn't track back enough. But Coleman, he constantly tracked back, he constantly helped the team. For me, he gets a 9.5. Only a little bit the other disappointed with is that like his overall game contribution, besides the goal, weren't that high, and that's why he doesn't quite get a 10 out of 10. Then we move on to Müller. Müller for me also gets a 9.5 out of 10. Honestly, I kind of say him and Coman are equally man of the match. Müller for me, quite frankly, gets 2 goals. You can't complain about that. Comes up, in important moments, comes up clutch. But I felt like his, as well, I'm kind of the same with Coman, but I feel like a little bit more so with Müller. But like Müller's game contribution is a lot more dependent on like what he does off the ball, so it's a lot more difficult to really judge on like the first viewing, I guess. But like I felt like his overall game contribution was quite lacking, to be completely honest. Besides obviously the goals. So from that perspective, actually, what I'm giving him a 9.5. I was gonna think of whether I should give him a 9, but I think a 9.5. You've got 2 goals against a very strong Leipzig side. It's a very solid score, and one that he very much deserves. And you have to take that into consideration, the level of the opponent as well, the little time that you get against the opponent as well. So for me, Müller also gets a 9.5, and then we move over to Sané. Frustrating. I mentioned this already. Sané is just frustrating at the moment. Like when he plays as a sub, he just looks fantastic. But like when he came in, today, when he started today, I should say, another less than ideal performance. Let's call it that. Less than ideal performance. I was a little bit frustrated as well with his tracking back. It wasn't as bad as like in previous games. In previous games, I would say he was tracking back a lot less, helping out defensively a lot less. I felt like it was a lot more the case so today that he did help out, but still not nearly enough. And like, if your offensive contributions are lacking, you really need to help out defensively at least. You need that. If one is lacking, you really need to help out the other one, and that's kind of the issue that I'm having. So from that perspective, I'm gonna say this. For me, he probably gets a. It's difficult for me to actually rate him because I felt like he barely was in the game. I didn't even realize he was in the game until like, oh, he subbed off. Oh, he played. Oh, wait, what? He played? He played 17 minutes and I never even noticed him. So what do you give someone that you never even noticed? A 0? Invisible? But that would imply that he was the worst player on the pitch, which I don't think he was. I think our two centre backs most certainly were a worst player on the pitch. So I'll give him a 3 because I'm being generous right now. Because I'm being kind. My goodness, I actually have a heart. It's beating. Wow. I never thought I did have a heart. I always thought my veins were ice cold, but no, I do have a heart. I'm giving him a 3. And then we go over to Lewandowski. Lewandowski, honestly, poor. Very poor. Again, very poor. It doesn't need to be said the whole team was very poor, but again, very poor performance. Honestly, for me, I don't even know what I would give him, to be completely honest. A 4? At that, yeah, but maybe 3? Nothing special, absolutely nothing special today. Let's give him a 3.5. That's kind of my rating with my judgment of the game, to be completely honest. Leipzig, fair enough. They did well. We always concede goals, which is why, like, nowadays it's really sad that I'm saying this, honestly. But like nowadays, when we conceded a goal, I'm not even like, oh man, we conceded a goal. I'm just like, I expected that. Let's go now. Like that's literally it. Like, you know how they always say, a good offense wins games, a good defense wins titles, plural, not just one, plural. A good offense wins games, a good defense wins titles. Well, a defense is trash. Yes, trash. 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 But it's our offense that's winning us those games. Are they going to be enough for a title? I don't know. Imagine Champions League knockout stages. When you play at home and you concede 2 goals, yeah, you can score 2 goals at home as well, 3 goals at home, sure. But then you have to play away, and it's like, are you gonna score 2-3 goals again? Because you're gonna concede 2-3 goals. So it's one of those situations. I like the substitutions. Not so much the substitution itself, because I wouldn't have put Coleman off. Like, straight up, Coleman, if I was the manager, Coleman would not have gone off. Because he's the only reason why, we drew the game. I would have banked on him getting us the winner, honestly. But, like, I like the substitution. They came on, Gnabry didn't look that great, but, like, at least he tried. Costa didn't look that great, but at least he tried. That's really, I'm going to say now. Richards our best centre-back. Yeah. When they came on, Richards was our best centre-back. And that's all I have to say about that. Overall, very disappointing performance. You could say, yeah, we got a draw against Leipzig, but that's not the point. Like, if this was a one-off result, I would have been like, whatever. Like, whatever, bro. Like, truly, whatever, bro. But because this is not a one-off performance. Because this happens every single day. Twice a week. 2 times a week. It's disappointing. It's disappointing. We can't keep a clean sheet. Our defense can't keep a clean sheet. Our defense can't defend to save the life. Our defense is absolutely terrible. And that's why this game, honestly, this season so far has been very disappointing. Because you all know, the thing that I always like the most is not the attack. It's not the attack. My favourite player of all time is Philipp Lahm. And it's not because of his attacking contributions. Yeah, those were great, actually. When he was a right back, it was fantastic. Him and Robin, that combination was absolutely brilliant. Coolio. But it's not because of that. The reason Philipp Lahm was always my favourite player was because he was defensively solid. He was clean, but defensively solid. Defensively astute. And then, the little bit that he offers offensively was great as well. But it was the defence first. I've always liked, these good defenses. I've I was very much looking forward to, like, when Ancelotti was announcing, I thought, oh, we're gonna be a lot more pragmatic. Didn't really work out. But I'd much rather see us, win, I don't know, 1-0. A very strong defensive performance in a 1-0, than us like winning every game 5-4. Because those 5-4 results, they're of course they're more exciting. But when you go to like the big games, when you go to like the Champions League games where you have to play home and away, then you're like, those high scoring games are not really that good. They're not really that good. Because at the end of the day, you have one bad day and you don't score 4 goals and your team still scores 3 goals, you're out. And that's my worry. That's my worry. I know it's still, halfway through the season. We're not quite at the halfway point yet. But it's still disappointing. And that's really what it boils down to. It's disappointing. It will be disappointing. It will continue being disappointing. But, as you all know, my slogan is very simple. It's not MiaSanMia. That's the official Bayern slogan. That's how I used to be on this channel. MiaSanMiaTV. That's what we used to be. But now we're not that anymore. We're now Bayernfantv. And my slogan is a little bit different from the official. My slogan is a little bit different from the official one. My slogan is very simple: onwards, forwards, upwards. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. Upwards in the table, forwards in the match days, and onwards, hopefully, in the performances. We'll see. We will see, ladies and gentlemen. But I will see all of you in the next one. Everyone, be sure to, of course, like the video and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I will see all of you in the next one. Peace out. Have a nice day, and